Greetings, and I thought I would make another video, first of several to come, to be honest. And this one is going to be something of a world tour using the Google Earth maps. So the first place I want to look at is Libya, which you can see there. Let's get the pen so I can point to things. So you've got Libya there, and Egypt's next door. Israel lies there, and some very interesting things. Now, where I've got this arrow, this is what we're going to be focusing on, this dot, this black dot. So what I shall do, I apologise for this because my as I said before, my technology skills are not exactly brilliant. Right, so we'll have to bear with me. I could really do with about 3 hands here. Right, we're going to zoom in on that black dot. So bear with me a minute, please. We'll get it to the centre of the screen. Place called, don't know how well that shows, the Murak district, which is, where are we? We've lost it again. Use the pen, that's easiest. It's here. We're going to keep zooming in on this because there's something rather interesting I think you all need to see. Oh, and again, it is moving outwards or up to the top of the screen, so I'll have to try and centre it again. And you'll see something is starting to emerge here. So we zoom in even closer and get this to come up. It's starting to become slightly more apparent now, and the closer you go in, the better it gets. Where are we? Lost it again. Now you can all do this. You've all seen the part I've showed you on the screen. Now we're going as close as we possibly can to this, because this thing seems to be changing. I have to come back out again. You'll see what I mean in a minute, because I've got another picture to show you. Also, just off this is just off the internet search. Now, I don't know what that looks like to you. It's definitely changing every time Google Earth updates. So let's have a look at this. Now, look at the shape of the outside of that circle, that bubble. That's obviously a fetus. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're looking at a human fetus or a chicken, reptile, whatever. They all start off looking identical. So now if we go back to this, you'll notice you've got this circle, and then it goes in like that. Now we'll go back to this Google Earth, and you'll see the same thing around here. And very interesting, if you zoom in below this, it looks like a ejaculation trail. But I'll leave you to do that for yourselves. And then leave a comment, tell me what you think. I mean, definitely this thing is on the move, and it seems to be linking up with this. So if it is a fetus, the question then is, where are the parents? Well, it so happens within the African continent, much further away. We'll have to zoom back out. Oh, not quite that far. For some reason they put it onto a strange spinning ball. But we'll come across here to Morocco. Now, it's not going to show very clearly on here, but if you look at this, there's a tail there, 2 legs coming down here, and then there's a neck here. I mean, do zoom in, look very closely at the tail in this rock formation. I mean, this thing scales out about 800 miles long. Excuse me. So I'm going to zoom in a bit closer to the what would be the head, because that is very interesting. I'm going to suggest that fetus, that thing in Libya, is, this is the mother of it. Now, where are we? Let's try and pull this up. I'm sorry about the shakiness, but if we go, where are we? Try and pull this. This is not very easy to do with sort of, I could do with 4 hands to do this really. I'm not going to be able to do it here. I need to, this is the trouble, when you zoom in you lose your bearings on the thing you were looking at. Where are we? Ah, here we are. It will become apparent, I hope. This strange, if you zoom in on this and then you compare it with lightning photographs, it looks to be electrical. Now what is below this, and it seems to capture a moment in time, as it were. This looks very much like a fish with the eye here, and you'll see that the tail seems to come round again. This seems to suggest evidence that backs up the flood. If you zoom in on this, it definitely seems to resemble fish scales. Now also very interesting, just below this, if we zoom in, where are we? Mauritania. So we'll come down, here we are. The so-called Eye of the Sahara, which is just below what looks to be a fish. You'll see this, which matches Plato's description of Atlantis. There are plenty of videos. I'm just basically putting together a compilation of things I've seen. You've got the various circles. It fits the description about the mountains. Also, if you zoom in close, you'll see all this within this sand. It resembles when a tide has gone out on a beach, but I'll leave that for you to make your own mind up on that one. Now something else very interesting with all this, we'll have to zoom right out and we need to move around somewhere else now. Where are we? We'll try and get our bearings. And come back out a bit, because again this is not very easy to do like this. Now here we are. That's Alaska. This is the Asian part of Russia, so it's this island is what you want to aim for, just to the north of that. So we'll click on that. This is something very interesting as well. You can all do this on your own computers as well. Just try this for yourselves. Now it starts to become clear when you zoom in, but I'm just going to go over to just a freeze frame from Max Igan's channel. This is a very old map showing where the North Pole is. These land masses that don't seem to exist, or certainly not on the Google Earth maps, and presumably we're looking at, I think it would be this island here. So we go back to the maps again, the Google Earth maps. Now you may just about be able to start seeing it here, this straight line. That's what we're going to be looking at. Because the closer you go in, we're going to have to move up the, move upwards again. You'll start seeing in this straight line some very interesting things. It's almost like they can't quite get the these images to match up, because you start going in and this seems to go as far north as you can go, but I'm asking, what is all this? It looks to be land features and it's not being blanked out. And again, we'll move round to another part of the world. This is just highlights, as it were, because there's plenty of other channels that have covered a lot of this stuff already. Now you get round, we go back to this old map. You've got Greenland here, you've got Iceland here, and then you've got this other landmass called Friesland. So where is it? The interesting thing is, when you zoom in on somewhere like Iceland, for example, to this this area here, with it's just covered in, well, they say it's ice, but it looks more. It helps if I press the left click. So we're coming on these. These things seem to come into focus when you really zoom in. What you'll start seeing when you zoom in onto this white area, it's probably not going to show very clearly on this. This is why I say try this yourselves. You get some all sorts of strange, it's not plain white, but there's something definitely showing here. Now, people who will say, oh, it's just the mountain formations under the ice, but there's clearly some very strange things. It's worth having a look at these Google Earth maps and zooming in on different things, because you do get some very interesting pictures. Now, going back to the, let's see, what else did I pull up here? This bearded dragon. Now, if you compare that rock formation and then you look closely at a picture of a bearded dragon, you'll notice the scales change from the underside and the upper side, and it seems to replicate that same rock formation that you'll find in Morocco. If you go to Marrakesh, for example, and then obviously you've got this one as well. So I'm going to leave that there because there's plenty to sort of look at with all these things. There's some very strange things, and now interestingly or frustratingly, I mean, let's go back out again as far as we can go here. It won't quite let you go up. Oh, the clouds have come back in. Very interesting. You can't get the north sort of pole area, but there's some strange things worth zooming in on here as well. So do leave comments, tell me what you think. What do you think of this thing in Libya? What do you think of in Morocco? The fish and the dragon. It looks almost like that dragon is the mother that is defending that fetus from the fish. And then you've got all this, again, Greenland. If you look at old maps, you will find there is towns and places all marked here. I'm going to put the links in the description to a few other people's channels. Jon Levi, Flat Earth British, and Max Igan. They're all showing things. I mean, how could these respected cartographers that have actually got very accurate coastlines make such a mistake with these four land masses? Now, this could be what is described as the four rivers of Eden, for example. Also, thank you to Martin Liedke on Flat Earth British on one of his most recent videos. He mentioned about these sea people, this strange group of people that came from, it looks to be from Mauritius. But if you think about the word Mauritius, ignore the spelling and hear the sounds. Does it mean more righteous or more riches? I'll just leave that there because words are very revealing. I will do another video on the English language, the Anglish. Now, do we languish in our language? So I'll leave that one there for you to, a few things to think about there. So plenty to sort of a bit of head scratching, and please do let me know your thoughts. Thank you.